Hello and welcome back. This is the third part of the lecture on sustainable nature-based tourism, reflections from the Wadden area. My name is Frans Sijtsma. I'm from the University of Groningen in the Netherlands. And we are part, obviously, of the Try What Walk series, Crossing Borders, Blending Perspectives. And in this third part of my four contributions to this lecture series, we talk about the paper Multiscale Mapping of Cultural Ecosystem Services in a Socio-Ecological Landscape, a case study of the international Wadden Sea region. It's published in Landscape Ecology. And this research revolves around GreenMapper. And GreenMapper is a survey tool which we developed for measuring nature and landscape appreciation. Remember earlier we talked about the Sustainable Tourism Area Life Cycle Framework, in which we have, in the second quadrant, we have biodiversity and or ecology and landscape. And this latter part, the landscape, this is what this is about, the appreciation of people of the environment. And we developed a survey tool in which people can express which areas they appreciate. And this is called the GreenMapper, and it has a map-based design. The questionnaire starts from your home location, which you can see here on the map as the here. So you give the survey your home location. It doesn't have to be precise, but doesn't have to be a precise address for privacy reasons, but roughly your neighborhood, you could say. And then it asks for an attractive natural place. The question is a nature-related place, so you can mark places that are attractive, valuable, or important to you, and which have something to do with green, water, or nature. It can be in a park, by a lake, at the sea, in the forest, near cows in the meadow. It doesn't matter, and it doesn't really matter whether they are places which you very often visit, or only rarely, or even never visit. They should be attractive, valuable, or important to you. Once you place a marker and you map, you answer this question by placing a pin on the map. And once you have done that, then we ask you a short series of questions. We ask for a grade 1 to 10. 10 is perfect place. We ask to state why you think a certain area is attractive. And in the second part of my lecture, which I gave earlier on jobs and attractiveness, we also discussed this about the deep feelings around the shallow coast. We used this part of the survey in which people expressed why they like an area, and we saw that they sometimes have, for the Wadden, very deep feelings. We ask for the frequency of visits, and we ask for different type of activities which people undertake while they are in that area. And we ask the same set of questions at 4 spatial levels. So it starts out with the local level. We ask you to mark a place 2 kilometers from your home, maximum 2 kilometers from your home. If you can't find a place, you can mark a place further on, but it's sort of advised to take that range. And then we ask for a regional place, 20 kilometers from your home, then for a place in the country, and then for a place somewhere in the world. And we've done different versions of this. We have developed different versions of the software throughout the years, and we did it in several survey rounds, and we have some 15,000 respondents until now. Surveys have been taken in the Netherlands, in Germany, Switzerland, Denmark, South Korea, Italy, Brazil, Belgium also. And I just show you a few results to get a bit of a flavor of what the GreenMapper is about. So here you see the city of Groningen. It's spelled there, Groningen. You see here within the city there's a bit of a hotspot, the Noorderplantsoen, for people who know Groningen. And then here is at the regional level, these were regional markers, so within 20 kilometers from people's home. You can see that there's a big hotspot here at the south part of the city around the lake, Paterswoldse Lake, Hoornse Meer, and that is very, very popular in Groningen. You can see here in Brazil, Rio de Janeiro, you can see here Copacabana and Ipanema is popular, and the mountains here. We see Italy as it is marked on the national level by Italians. And you can see, for instance, here that a big hotspot here on the Alps, and also here and around Venice, and Venice there, sorry. And you can also see here, these are markers flying into Italy, basically, from other countries. And you can see the same spot here, heavily marked in the Alps, and here around Venice, also very popular. Okay, this is South Korea. This is actually a world marker, so at a world level from South Korean people. And you can see, for instance, that Japan is heavily marked. So you can learn that South Koreans, they like Japan a lot for its nature and quality. On the national level in South Korea, we see here the island of Jeju, very, very heavily marked. So that's a very popular island in South Korea. So this is what the survey does, and this is in the most recent version. We don't use pins, but we use areas which people can draw. And this was the survey. This was where the respondents came from. This is from the Netherlands and from the northern part of Belgium, where they also speak Dutch, and this survey was in Dutch. And you can see here as an example the city of Ghent, a Belgian city, which has some small areas in the city center and some larger areas drawn by people on the outskirts of town. You see here the Randstad area in the Netherlands, with Amsterdam, The Hague, and Rotterdam, and here's Utrecht. There's this inner area, the Groene Hart, which is heavily protected, but you can see here that the coast is actually even more appreciated than the Green Hart. Here, for our purposes, interesting is that this map of the Netherlands with and Belgium with the nationally marked places. You can see the Ardennes in the forest area in Belgium, heavily marked, and you can see that the Wadden area is very, very dark green, or it's a bit neon green actually, but you can see that it's a hotspot. It's very heavily marked. On the European level, you see the Alps in Scotland and Norway marked, and the global level, you see for instance, the Amazon area heavily marked. Now, that was as an introduction to the Green Mapper survey, which is it's quite powerful. It's been used in several countries. We now focus on the Wadden area, and here you see dots on a map. Put there by people in the Netherlands, put there by people in Germany, and people in Denmark as an answer to which places they like on a national scale. So these are national scale markers. And I show you this map because it shows a very interesting structure, spatial structure. You can see here that the coasts of the German Wadden area is heavily marked, as are the islands. But this pattern is not repeated here in the Dutch side. You can see that the coast is hardly marked. It's mainly the islands which are marked. And you will see this same pattern here in Denmark, and also even in northern Germany. With silt, you can see a few markers here, but relatively this coast is not that much marked. It's mainly the islands which are marked as attractive areas. Now, these markers, they come from somewhere in these countries, and that's shown on this map. What this map shows is for different Länder and provinces and regions. Länder in Germany, provinces in Netherlands, and regions in Denmark. Which percentage of the respondents marked the Wadden area on a national scale as their preferred area, as an area on a national scale which they think is attractive, valuable, or important. And you can see that in southern Germany, it's 8.5%, which still marks the Wadden area as a favored area on a national scale. And you can see here that in Denmark, in the northern part, it's quite only very few people mark the Wadden area, which is here in Denmark. And you can see that in south of the Netherlands also, it's quite limited, the number of people that mark the Wadden area as a favorite area. This is where many Germans live, 18.6% still marks the Wadden area as their favored area on a national scale. Now, this whole set of respondents involves some 7,500 respondents throughout the 3 countries. And we took these as a sample from the whole population, and then we applied it back to the whole population and say, well, if 8.5% marks the Wadden area, we define that act, we say, well, then that somebody who marks the Wadden area is a fan of the Wadden area, otherwise it wouldn't mark it. So it's in their hearts, they like the area, they think it's attractive, valuable, or important for them. So we feel that that's an operation of a fan. Like people can be fans of the Rolling Stones or Taylor Swift. So that's the fans. And if we apply that to the population which is living there, so here many Germans live here many Dutch people live there. If we apply that, when we get the following numbers, we get for the 3 countries together 14 million fans. 14 million people who, when you ask them what is an attractive, important place to you, which has something to do with nature, they say, the Wadden area. And there are 2 million fans in the Netherlands, there are some 11 million fans in Germany, and there's 500,000 fans in Denmark, and this adds up to some 14 million fans. Now, and this 14 million fans is much more than the people who are living there. There's only one, you can see this green bar in the bar chart, that's the Wadden population. It's 2013, but it doesn't change that much over time. So roughly it's still accurate. And that's 14 times as many fans as people living there. And that, to us, shows an important governance gap, you could say. You think, okay, the Wadden area is in many people's hearts. How are these people involved in governance of the area? Where are they? When we, for instance, discussed in the first part of my 4-part lecture series, when a coal-fueled power plant is built in the Eemshaven, how are the fans involved? Does their opinion count? Does it count? And it seems sort of logical that they should be involved, since it's part of their well-being, which is affected. And well, since we build software to survey people, we said, can't we develop software which tries to work on that governance gap? And we call this GreenMapper Friends. So we have GreenMapper Survey, we talked about the results, but now we go to GreenMapper Friends. And GreenMapper Friends actually is a registered system in which you can say, I register here officially as a fan, this area, which means that you can reach me for governance purposes. So that's not as a tourist. It's not for consumption, it's not for enjoyment, it's for governance purposes. Thinking along, giving support, sometimes physical support, you might give financial support, you might just think along, use your thinking power or whatever powers you have for governance. And we have this software, but it's completely experimental. It's not working yet in the sense of that there's millions of people in there. These 14 million fans in the Wadden area are not yet in there, but we try to develop it that they will get into that. And that's through cooperation and doing different projects. We are slowly developing and hoping that we can find a way to fix that governance gap in the area. And well, I'm from the University of Groningen. Well, this is how it looks like software-wise. So we have a GreenMapper Friends, and this is my name is Frans. You can see that I'm a user here, And Vlieland is one of the areas which I have officially registered as, you can reach me if there's stuff going on if you want for governance of Vlieland. I'm a fan of Vlieland, one of the Waddenhouse. I have more areas that which I like, so you can add as many as you like, and you can officially register yourself as a friend. Why? Why would we do that? Well, we already said a few words on it. We use a specific title with specific area. This is not I love nature, I love landscapes. It's specifically for different areas. I like Vlieland, and I like many more places, but it's specific. And using the fans, you can explore opinions. What do people who like the area think of certain developments, from new plans, new changes? You can gather ideas to help the area. There's different formats for that, like say open idea or deliberative polling. You can give support with maintenance or cleaning. You can give financial contributions. And well, fundamentally, there's a thing going on which we feel is what the power of the internet, or at least one power of the internet, is that you can organize without organizations. And here you can organize fans without organizations. And this also gives power, potentially, to small areas which don't have many funds, but they can reach their fans. Now, we make the connection technically possible, but other organizations should build content. And we analyze what works, and we create and assure accessible public data and knowledge. Okay, that was my third contribution, and if you feel this is an interesting field, or if you want to contribute, please don't hesitate to contact me. That's you can also try it yourself. You can test the software, register as a landscape friend, well, that's it for now. So thank you for now, and we will perhaps see you in my fourth part of the lecture, which I give. And but for now, thank you. Bye bye.